Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Morning, Bellows Falls, and welcome to the feed. Here we are. It's July 24th.
We are cruising through
Way
July.
too fast. Way too fast. We've had a great summer. We're here with Kathleen Govotski and Deb Collier. We're going to talk about Old Home Days. That's coming up. A huge event for our summer. I always think one of the milestones. You have Saxon's River Fourth and then Old Home Days. So those are like the big milestone things that happen around here. So we'll be talking about that. Marty, you have any?
I'm kind of low on the local
Low
events.
on the
this week.
local
We
events.
usually have too many things to get in, but today I'm kind of low. But I did want to talk about the library is now offering a senior safe Tai Chi class. It started on Tuesday, July 16th. It's running every Tuesday at 11 a.m. It's a free weekly program. And if you want more information, then go ahead and give the Rockingham Library a call, 802-463-4270. That's a great opportunity for seniors to have a really important class, because Tai Chi teaches you balance and grounding and mindful movement. And if you're finding yourself getting, or if you have relatives that find they're getting a little less stable, this would be a great class for them.
Great. Little follow-up. Last weekend was the garden tour with
Yeah.
Sue and I went on Sunday. They said that the turnout on Saturday was a little low because of the
It was-
heat,
It was a
but
bit
Sunday
warm.
was fantastic. And I talked with Karen just yesterday, and she said it turned out well. They had good turnout, so
Good.
that was a good event.
Good.
And then this weekend, something that's coming up and that's new to Bellows Falls, and I think just brand new to everything, is they're doing a Hetty Green 420 tour to talk about cannabis and cannabis products in Bellows Falls. Rob Fox and Deb Fox are working this out. I don't know how people feel about that. I tried to think of it as it's like a wine tasting or a craft beer idea. You just bring other ideas in. And
So I don't understand what they're.
well, they're going to do, and that's a good
What's the
question.
tour? Like, what are they
Well, they're
touring?
going to talk. They're going to talk about. They're going to meet at the Waypoint Center, as I understand it. I can tell a lot of this is new to a lot of people. But I saw it in the paper. They're going to meet at the Waypoint Center this Saturday at high noon. Got that?
We got all the references.
They're going to end at 4:20. It's going to be about, and they're going to do sort of an introduction to CBD products and cannabis. And I hear there's going to be a rolling contest to see who can roll the neatest joint and no smoke.
But where are they doing it all?
Well, you have to call them to find out.
Okay.
They're undisclosed locations, because if you know the law says you can't do these things in public. So they're going to private places
Okay.
to do
All right.
these. So
Now
they're
I
going to
get it.
comply with the law, but they're going to try to, and it's promoting, Bellows Falls and promoting, and they're using the Hetty Green as the Witch of Wall Street, but they're spelling it Heady, as in Hetty Topper, the beer, or Hetty, whatever you want to call it. And anyway, I can tell I'm making everybody uncomfortable, so moving on. Here we go.
It's the creative economy.
It is.
Yes,
Well,
right.
and I think, however people feel about these things, I think anything that we can do to bring people to Bellows Falls in a positive way is a good thing. And I'm not against it.
There you go.
There you go.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Speaking of other positive ways to bring people to Bellows Falls, we have Old Home Days coming up.
Old Home Days is, I think, always amazing, and we're really trying to bring it back to being more old-fashioned, family-friendly, instead of the big carnival and so many things like that. There will be a lot of entertainment for kids. The Southern Vermont Nature Museum is coming again with all of their their birds. That's an hour-long presentation in the afternoon, so that's always really popular. The bounce house, of course. Lots of kid-friendly games will be there. Lots of local clubs and vendors will be there, so you can just stop by, visit with your neighbors, say hello to everybody. There'll be entertainment kind of all day long, different singers and bands that will be playing. There'll be a little karaoke segment, so
Oh, really?
you know, everybody can.
Like a karaoke stage you're gonna set up in,
Yes.
like at the Waypoint Center, or?
That was my next question, is everything, I know it's flip-flopped years in the past, is it gone back to everything happening at the Waypoint Center?
We've kind of have all of the celebration itself at the Waypoint, but we do have sidewalk sales in the downtown this year again, so
Oh, good.
not quite as grand and glorious as when Sam's was there and we all
Yeah,
raced to get the back to school clothes and the sneakers, but the stores will be doing that, so there will be some. Don't forget to, come say hi and take a stroll through the square also.
How many years have you been doing like what number year is this do you know?
It's just
43rd.
Oh my
Wow, good
goodness.
one.
Good
Really?
job, Deb.
Wow.
Well, I haven't done it for 43 years.
But sometimes it feels like 43 years
Yes.
by the end.
Yeah, it does.
Each one feels like 43 years.
And then, of course, culminating in the fireworks,
And
right?
the fireworks,
Yeah.
And they really are so amazing. I think for such a little town, it's such a great show. So many good places to watch it. A couple years that I went to collect, it amazed me the nooks and crannies people have, kind of every year as their special vantage point to see
Yeah, oh,
it.
yeah. Well, when it changed to the island, it really changed the whole dynamic, because it opened up a whole different way of looking at things.
I
Yeah.
think there's gonna be a giant tug of war between, when they close the bridge for the fireworks, I think there's usually a big tug of war between North Walpole and Bellows Falls, so that will be interesting. Cheer your team on.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
literally, so you're talking literally.
Literally,
tug of
they're
war.
gonna do a
tug of
rope.
war, they have
Yeah.
a rope.
Nice.
Nice. I didn't realize that. I'd never seen that. Did they do that last year, or?
No.
No, this is a first, huh?
I
I'll-
think they
Done
did
it
it maybe like a few years
Years
in
ago,
the
I
past,
believe, but
And then we have a truck component, a touch-a-truck component for the kids this year. So there will be some monster trucks and like a big cab to a tractor trailer, I think a fire truck, police
Police car.
cruiser.
Oh, neat.
yeah.
And then I think they're gonna do a Jaws of Life presentation
Mm-hmm.
for people to see like how that works.
And who's doing that? Is
Everything
that the
happening
local
at
fire
Waypoint.
departments or the
Fire and
police?
police
Oh,
department.
Oh, nice.
Just want to keep putting that out
Yeah.
there, because people get, because isn't there also traditionally a truck show at the same weekend?
Yes,
Yeah.
Not
at
the same.
At the high school.
Bellows Falls.
Just to make sure
High
people aren't confused
that's-
and go down to the
yeah.
truck show looking for
Yeah.
a Jaws of Life. Everything's happening at the Waypoint.
Is the truck show going though? The
Yes,
same?
at the high
Okay,
school.
good.
From 8 to 2.
That's always an interesting thing too. We went,
We went one year. Yeah, the trucks are right. They're just fun.
well, they're a riot, and then
And the
all the
people are-
people are
Yeah.
so proud of their trucks that
Yeah.
they'll, give you a ride.
So who do you
around.
have for food? Do you have food vendors coming too?
So we have food vendors. We have, I'm doing a blank here. We have Jamaican Tools.
Athens Pizza.
We have snow cones, fried dough, smoking bowls.
Yep.
Oh,
Just signed
yeah.
up, so they have a big following. Who am I forgetting? The chamber's going to be doing some yummy lemonade and cooling drinks and popcorn, that sort of thing. So I think we'll have a nice
Mhm.
selection of food.
And what time do the festivities start?
So this year we're going to do 12 until fireworks.
Oh, good, yeah.
So we'll start a little bit later. Gets to be
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable
a
thing to
good
do, really.
time to
It gives
get
people
started.
time to set up, and also breaks things up a little bit.
There will be all the fun eating contests, of
No,
course.
I was
Those are-
gonna
Those are the
ask.
best to watch.
The
We filmed
donuts
those
on a
one
string.
year.
Then the pizza eating. There's some really good prizes, and kids take that really seriously. Then they get in there for the pizza, and then the ice cream eating contest. So those are always popular.
They are amazingly popular, and I don't know, I think through the years, people have had mixed feelings about the eating contest, but I'm glad to hear that you're sticking with it and then
Well,
letting people do them.
And it's just one little pizza. It's not like when you hear those contests of somebody eating
Yeah, like
63
75.
hot dogs. So I know.
Fastest one to eat, right?
Yeah.
We have some circus performers again from the Vermont Circus School, so
Good,
they're always
good.
fun. Someone who's going to be juggling and walking on their hands on stilts, and Tony the juggler, he's always fun. And they engage the kids. They bring extra hula hoops so
Mhm,
the kids
mhm.
can kind of get in there. So one year there were like 10 kids all hula hooping to the music. So it's kind of fun.
Now, are you having the train this year or not?
There is a fireworks train again.
No,
this
I mean
year.
the little
Oh,
train
there's
that
a
went
Oh, the
around,
roaming
that went
railroad,
around,
yes.
Yeah,
Yes, they're coming.
yeah. Because that's always a big hit. That was with the kids and grandparents bringing the kids down to tool around the parking lot.
yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is cute.
What about a dunk tank?
We decided to give the dunk tank a little bit of a break this year. I think we were having a hard time finding dunk tank victims.
Yeah, it's
That
always
can
it's
be
always hard
difficult,
because it
yes.
is a commitment of time and.
And there's been a couple of, minor dunk tank injuries in the past,
Wow.
when
Really?
just people hitting their head and
Oh,
when the
okay.
kids
sort
I
of
thought
thing.
maybe people getting
No,
hit
no,
with
no,
a...
nothing
Nothing like
too
that.
radical, but so the dunk tank is gonna take a breather this year.
It's probably a good plan.
Probably gonna have more water games so that if it gets warm, the kids can
Oh, good.
cool off
Yeah,
that way.
yeah.
So
That sounds like fun.
trying to focus on that.
So if people are listening to the show and they're interested in maybe participating or having a booth or doing something, what's the best way to? Are you still taking vendor entries and?
Certainly
Sure.
open to that, sure, yeah.
Sure, I would just say call the chamber.
Okay.
You could also message either Deb or I on Facebook, and just
Yeah.
really watch Facebook. We're gonna every day there'll be, some different times and schedules, and we'll just keep pumping out all the fun things that are going on.
Okay. Awesome.
So can people, are there, besides the eating contest, are there other like pie contests or anything like
We're
that?
not doing that this year.
Gonna
but-
wait till the chowder in the
So
fall?
we have,
Oh,
we
that's
have
true,
two really fun things going on in the fall. We have the Chowder Chili Cook-Off,
Yeah.
which is at the end of October. Halliday's was one of the winners this year.
That's right.
Justin worked really hard on his maple bacon chili.
That was
It
one.
was like a lot of taste testing. But we're gonna do the Fall Flannel Festival this year. That's gonna be really fun. It will be up at the Rockingham Hill Farm.
Oh, really? I
So
haven't
we're
heard
going
of
to
this.
center it around bluegrass music. There'll be 3 or 4 bands that play, and that will be all about the pies. So we'll
Oh,
have
really?
really kind of focus on pies, craft beer, maybe some
Uh-huh,
cheese
yeah,
tasting,
yeah.
music, just kind of an old-time Vermont celebration. So,
And when is that gonna be? 'Cause it's,
so that is going to be
Roughly, it
Columbus
doesn't-
Day weekend. I think
Yeah.
it's the
October
13th
Oh,
on a
nice.
Sunday,
Yeah.
12 to 5. So
oh, that'll be
that's
great.
going to be really fun.
Because Charlie has a really cool place up there, and it's sort of one of those hidden gems of Rockingham. But we went up for the recycled percussion, and to be honest, it was the first. Even though he's done a lot of things up there, it's the first time I'd been there, and it's really a nice venue.
It's magical.
great.
There's just a big hill where you can watch the music. The barn is beautiful, so even if it happens to rain that day, which
Yeah.
it's not going to, but kind of covered with the barn. So yeah,
Yeah, it's huge. The barn is huge, and with
It's-
with the lights and stuff inside, it's really sort of charming. Yeah.
so yeah.
So that's before or after? Whoops, before or after the chili?
The
chowder?
chili chowder cook-off is usually the last Saturday
Okay.
in
of
October.
Okay,
We're
couldn't
going to
remember.
hope that it doesn't snow and sleet this year.
I know, last year the weather couldn't have been worse.
Oh
But
my
the year
God.
before you had
Yeah,
beautiful
the
Yeah,
year
great
before.
weather.
Yeah, it's like it's the weather in Vermont. Just
Mhm.
it'll change.
Any interest, you probably haven't gotten to that planning stage, any interesting new twists on that this year, or pretty much just trying to grow it? It's pretty popular.
I think, and it's kind of a maximum, the year before last, I think we had around 300 people. So
Mhm.
for our little town, that was
That's a lot,
really, really good
yeah.
turnout. So there's, you don't want to have people have to make 5 gallons of
Right.
of
Yeah,
chili.
Right.
yeah, that's
so-
true. Because
Yeah.
even some people ran out. I remember it was
So
just
we were hoping to
at the
keep
very
that
end, yeah.
a nice community event and maybe grow the flannel festival as
yeah, yeah.
is great for tourists and locals both.
Mhm. Interesting. What else going on at the chamber? Still looking for members, I bet.
Always looking for members and volunteers.
Yes, volunteers for any seniors or high school kids that might need some community service hours. You can work at the bounce house for Old Home Days or help out the lemonade booth, so we would love to have volunteers.
Great.
And again, easiest way, just call the chamber or just stop by.
Absolutely.
Good. And are you still looking for board members as well, or are you pretty set there? I know at one
We
time,
have a really great board
Right.
now.
Okay.
I think we're,
I know it ebbs and flows with the businesses
people
coming in.
are always welcome to, come sit in on a meeting, if a position opens in the future. We're always the third Tuesday of the month at 8:30 in the morning,
At the
and
Waypoint
so
Center.
at the Waypoint Center, but we have a pretty full board
Good.
right now.
Good.
That's
I
great.
know at one time you were having a
I
bit
was
of a
very
struggle.
sad when Mike left me, but, these things happen.
He was
Yeah.
irreplaceable on the board.
It's true.
irreplaceable.
No, I don't think so. I think they managed well without me. They flourished. But
So just to do a quick recap
Yes.
of the event, it's going to happen at the Waypoint Center
Yes.
from 12 until the fireworks. Is there? I know sometimes you have a band before the fireworks. Is that going to happen this year, or?
We
Well, there's gonna be
have,
bands all-
Road trash band. The road trash
Bernie
band.
Moss and his Road
Yep.
Trash Band.
Okay,
And
that's a
then-
local band name.
Local
People
band,
recognize that
yeah.
name.
We have
Bernie.
Fred Tipton playing in the afternoon.
The little big band.
Little
yeah.
Big
Oh,
Band.
that's the band that plays that jams at Flatiron. They do
Okay.
the jazz jam. It's a
Oh.
whole big conglomeration of local musicians, and they if you ever go down to Flatiron on Saturday afternoons when they have jazz,
Oh,
that's
okay.
that band. So
Okay.
it's a big group of local musicians. So that's always a good thing to go support. They have all kinds of different. I think they have a trombone player, a flute player, singer, keyboard player, drummer, bass player. So it's a good. I think that's why they call it the Big Little Band, because it is a big
Okay.
band.
That's cool.
We're gonna have a keen idol singer.
Oh, nice.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Good, good.
Nice. So the best place for people to find the events, is there going to be an event page, or are you just going to be putting out the events on Facebook?
Well, we're gonna do both.
Both, okay.
We've got an event page on Facebook where I've got sending out press releases today. And there's gonna be a big section in the shopper dedicated
Okay.
just to the Old Home Days.
Because it's not like it's a
Great.
surprise to people. It's the same. It's always the same weekend every year. It's just people knowing what the times are for things
Right.
and
Yeah.
where to
Yeah.
look for that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Great. The other thing that happens on Old Home Weekend is the pilgrimage out to the
To the
meeting
meeting
house,
house.
and I want to plug that again because they are really doing. I don't know. They've been doing a lot, and since this year they have docents there every day now from like 10 to 4, so you can go and get guided tours.
Oh,
And I was there yesterday, and they said they're going to do. They're actually for Old Home Days. They're going to do for the pilgrimage. They're going to have a food festival, and it's going to be both traditional and modern Vermont foods.
That's
And it's
cool.
they're trying to up the interest level too, you know. So and they're going to work on. I don't know if you've ever been out and seen the hearse. There's actually an old horse-drawn hearse that's in the.
Oh.
It's quite unique. It's like something out of the Munsters, but they're working on sort of cleaning that up and then bringing it out so that they'll be on display for while everybody is there. And then they're going to do these the food events, and it's real interesting because the docents have a lot of interest in different things. There's one guy that's really strong on Puritan beliefs, and he's talking about the idea of setting up what they called a communion table, which isn't like communion like Catholic communion, but it was like communion of people coming together, and they would share food, and I guess that was one of the original traditions of the meeting house, was that people would come together, and it was almost, I don't know if you've been there, but they have those
The
like
big
corrals
Yeah.
that people would bring food and they would share,
Well, it
and
was kind of a all-day
yeah.
event,
It was
right?
almost like
Instead of
the
we're
idea
like
of
30
town
minutes
meeting.
and
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
right.
And I guess people would, and this has happened in the last couple of years. People bring like family quilts and family Bibles, and they would, like say this is what's changed over the
Interesting.
year, and the new people who were born and the people who passed away, and they would. It was like this huge communal celebration, and so they're trying to bring some of that back, and I think it's an interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things, you
So
know,
there's a
another.
lot more to this year's pilgrimage than other
They're,
years. it
they're
sounds like.
trying to make it, before, you know, and not that it was less
Mm-hmm.
before, but, you know, they would sort of have someone speak and they would maybe play the organ and then, but this year they're gonna really do a food event. The other thing they're doing is restoring that old organ and, they have a guy that I guess can really play it. He can wail on
I
the,
mean, it's hard to
wailing on the
believe
pump organ if that's
that
possible.
was the center of Rockingham
Yeah.
before the big
Yeah.
fire.
Yes,
I
it
think
was, yeah.
Not many people really, it's hard to envision that.
It
seems
is totally, that's,
kind of tucked away, right?
yeah, because it's all that's really left right now. Well, there's a few buildings, but the library has some digital photographs of the fire, of Rockingham right after the fire, and it was quite big. It was really, you know, something. Anyway, but
Perfect segue.
perfect
Introduce your
segue.
clip.
We have a clip of an event that happened this last weekend at the Meeting House where two people came in and they played fife and drum, traditional fife and drum music from the Civil War and the Revolutionary War. And clip.
Family singers from New Hampshire put campaign words to help get Abraham Lincoln elected. And they put words to this old fiddle tune, and they called it Lincoln and Liberty. And they went around prior to Lincoln's election, and there was quite a lot of credit given to that song and its patriotic stirrings in helping Lincoln get elected. So Lincoln and Liberty.
Let me just tap this a few times. What happened was when it was on the ground, it absorbed moisture, especially the bottom head. And it just doesn't have the same crispness it had a little while ago.
And that's it.
We're done,
An-
another feed
Another
in the,
week,
in the
another
books.
feed. We don't know what we're gonna talk about next week, so.
We'll come up with something.
Thank you for
Yes,
having us.
thank you guys for having
Thank
us. Tune in to Facebook for Old Home Days news and be there, because it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's always is, yeah. All right, thank you.
Great,
And
thank
that's
you.
it for the feed.